All right, great to be here, but here we go. As a child, standing under a star-filled sky on a clear and moonless night, I would sometimes find the brightest flashlight I could and point it up to the brightest star I could see, in hopes that some other world, some other being, perhaps even a kid like me, might take notice. The stars have always filled me with a sense of wonder and awe, and questions like, how big is space? How far away are those stars? And do any of them have planets and life? Holding that feeble little light, I could have scarcely imagined that one day I would be leading an institution whose sole purpose was actually to answer or address those questions I had asked as a child, but equipped with the tools and the technology to actually answer them. So today I have the privilege of leading an institution whose scientists contemplate one of the most profound questions in all of science, and that is, are we alone in the universe? Do the conditions that gave rise to life and intelligence on Earth exist elsewhere? And if so, can we find them? The SETI Institute exists to explore the prevalence of life and intelligence in the universe, and we connect that research back to studies of life on Earth and concepts of habitability and sustainability. So our work functions at scales that are incomprehensible, where humans are definitely not masters. So from the nanometer scale of the building blocks of life to the cosmological scales of galactic clusters, it's a scale where time is measured in billions of years, where the 300,000-year history of modern humans is but 0.007% of the history of life on Earth. And honestly, it's mind-blowing to have a job which functions at scales like this. I've still got to contemplate the jackass who cut me off on the way to work, and I'm sure there was nobody in this room. But then I get to transition and contemplate the vastness of our universe and all of its wonders. But at this scale, at scales like this, how do we even build or construct a framework to look for life beyond Earth? Well, astronomer Frank Drake provided us with a framework through his efforts to understand the possibility or the number of technological civilizations that might exist in our galaxy. It's called the Drake equation. And it suggests that the number of technological civilizations in our galaxy, represented by n, is a function of the birth rate of stars and a series of probabilities, including how many stars have planets, how many of those planets are habitable environments, and how many of those might go on to develop life, intelligence, technology, and interestingly, perhaps most interestingly, how many of those, what is the duration or the length of time at which those technological civilizations remain detectable? In just the last 10 years, we've made extraordinary discoveries that have actually begun to fill in some of the variables of the Drake equation. We now know that planets are everywhere, that actually every star in the sky is a solar system. And we know that 30% of those worlds are potentially habitable environments. That means that the number of possible living planets in our galaxy alone is in the tens of billions. We've also learned that life can exist in extraordinary conditions that 10 years ago we would have thought was actually impossible. So we have planets are everywhere, habitable worlds are abundant, and life is robust. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is the statistical probability that we are alone in the universe is zero. Zero. But here's the interesting question. What about intelligent technological life? Does it exist? Can we possibly find it? And what would it mean if we did? So this takes us back to what I consider to be the most provocative question in Drake's formula. And it's embodied in the L variable. The question is, what is the longevity of a technological civilization and its ability to be detected before it goes dark for any reason, including potentially self-destruction? The renowned physicist Enrico Fermi posed the paradoxical question, if intelligent technological civilizations have had millions of years to permeate the cosmos with life, then where the hell are they? Why haven't we found them? Fair question. So the answer may be in the L variable, but it may be somewhat of a distressing answer, because the L variable asks the question, what is the longevity of a technological civilization before they go undetectable? So it asks the question, does the onset of technology in advanced civilization potentially lead to the development of a self-destruct button that might serve as a filter for their detectability or for our ability to find them? On Earth, our technology has delivered amazing benefits. But at the same time, these have been accompanied by existential threats of our own making. Some of them are intentional and some of them are not. We have become the first and only species in the history of our planet to potentially be the architects of our own demise through our conscious actions. Think nuclear holocaust, think global pandemic, think overpopulation. Or perhaps the future for human intelligence is to be replaced by artificial intelligence. But what concerns me the most is the environmental crisis that is born out of our inability to comprehend time scales that are large and long and distance scales that are grand. We have difficulty dealing with time frames beyond the next quarter and with distances beyond the next few miles. We operate within the realms of short-term and small distance, and today we are facing a long-term, planetary-scale environmental disaster that we still haven't grasped. At SETI, our science includes the characterization of habitable environments, and what we observe is global warming, biodiversity reduction, and the byproduct of human consumption overwhelming our planet's ability to be habitable. We are failing to see the risks in front of us, and we are fast approaching tipping points that may not be reversible. The UN is imploring nations to avoid a 2-degree rise in global average temperature. I think Philippe said it well, we're approaching 3 degrees. The worst case scenario is not 2 degrees, it's not 3 degrees, it's 10 degrees or more. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing, stopping the gradual warming of our planet in that direction. And nobody is talking about that. Nobody is talking about that. And we are already seeing temperatures of 120 degrees in too many places with too high a frequency. At 140 degrees, life as we know it will cease to exist. So let me say that again. At 140 degrees, life as we know it will cease to exist, and we're already coming close to that at 120 degrees. So you're sitting there thinking, hey, Bill, thanks. This is great. I love this sunny outlook that you're providing us. So, what is next? What's next? How do we go about fixing this? Well, if we're going to solve our environmental crisis, if we're going to return to a balanced relationship with our island planet, remember, it's an island, with finite resources, humanity is going to have to reboot. We're going to have to hit the Control-Alt-Delete button. And this is going to require collaboration and cooperation on a global scale that has never before been achieved. And trust me on this. Actually, Philippe said the same thing, all right? There is no plan B. There is no plan B. There's no other place to go. We're not doing the kind of work we do so we can find another home for humans because we've screwed up this one. No plan B. Conquer Mars? Good luck. We don't have enough time to terraform Mars to make it a great place to raise your kids. So that is ultimately why I feel that SETI is a hopeful endeavor. Because if we find evidence of a technological civilization beyond Earth, that means that they were able to come together to overcome and to disable their self-destruct button. It means they were able to be masters of their L variable, and it suggests the possibility that we could do the same. If we find evidence of beyond Earth, it suggests to us that life may be common and an emergent process and not a remarkable quirk of nature. But intelligent technological life may be something else indeed, and it may be rare indeed. So the discovery of intelligent technological civilization would be the discovery of a civilization we have the opportunity to become. It would be the discovery of, it would suggest the possibility that we too can be the masters of scale of our survivability, our sustainability, and our longevity. And from my point of view, that means that we have an answer to the question of why we do what we do, because it gives us hope. It's a hopeful endeavor. So, what is humanity's L variable? What is humanity's L variable? Well, that story has yet to be written, and the answer is all up to us. Thank you very much.